Hey everyone, welcome to this issue of Keeping Up with the Nerds. This week we talk about Sonic, we talk about more holiday movies, and also more Spider-Man predictions. Alright, Brian, cue the intro!
Yeah, me go.
Coming to you from 1920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, in the heart of Uptown Whittier, Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 77. I'm your host, Rene.
This is Bryan.
And welcome. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Are we introducing them now?
Yeah, we are now.
and Andy.
Yeah, all right, and welcome to the show, everyone.
We should have totally discussed it. I mean, we've had them before. It's it's not a surprise, but it's not like a surprise. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like, who are these people? Strangers.
If you guys don't know, obviously, Nick's not here this week. He is attending another party right now as we speak.
He doesn't like us.
Yeah, he didn't, no invitation.
Yeah, right?
No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, Nick's out doing some stuff.
Yeah.
But he'll be back next week for our special
Man.
Spider-Man issue.
It's next week.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
No.
That's why Nick's gonna sit next to you in the theater.
Yeah, you guys had to play rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors, yeah.
You guys are like, what's it?
What was it again? Was it to not sit next to you?
To not sit next to me.
So the winner.
So that's why you told me that I had to sit next to Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought about it. So, because we mentioned it before. We were talking about it before we started the podcast, but we watched the Hot Ones episode with Tom Holland, and it's so funny. There's two things that really hit me. So one was there was a part in that episode or in that video where he's like on his 7th or 8th wing, and he's like, "Dude, this is so hot, man! Like you could literally like." Tell you anything, and I'll probably say it. And like as soon as he said that, I was like, "No, Tom, don't do it!" Like I was just like, "Dude, man." But then we were watching it, and I'm like, "Dude, Tom is such an adorable dude."
He is.
Yeah, I
he's
love
like,
him.
he's just so great. Just his accent, the way he talks, he's so casual. Like,
yeah.
just a normal dude. Like, I feel like if you run into the street, like if you bump into him by accident, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I didn't mean to bump into you." You're like, "No, dude, it was my fault. I didn't see you there." But the other thing I thought of was like, it's a week away, man. And okay, like I said before in previous issues, I know in my heart that we're gonna get Toby and Andrew. In this movie.
Oh, that's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Definitely.
But like, no.
Sure.
So
No, I need Tobey Maguire to be in this movie.
yeah. So
I
like,
need him.
we know, we know.
Okay.
But like the other part of me is like still in doubt, and I think it's wanting to be in doubt because when it happens, I'm probably gonna be like tearing up. Like, I really hope that Andrew, like Nick said last week, Andrew's the first one to show up. Yeah. And then Tobey Maguire is the one that shows up afterwards. Because once Tobey shows up, I'm like, dude, that's my childhood right now.
Yeah.
So we saw a video this morning. It was with Tom Holland and Zendaya doing an interview. And basically Tom was talking about a scene where...
it was really dangerous.
It was a really dangerous stunt that Zendaya was doing. It was the falling scene for her. And he's like, yeah, it was really intense what I saw, because I wasn't there. And then, he just kind of moved forward. And Zendaya was like moving forward too. From that,
like, okay. Yeah. And then Tom Holland's just staring at her like,
he's
get
not,
me out
he's
of this.
Not, he's not looking back in the interviewer. I was like, oh my God, Tom.
It's so great. He's like the worst kept secret in Hollywood.
I was telling Bryan when we were watching Hot Ones, every time I watch an interview with him, I get scared for him. Yeah. I'm just like, oh my God, don't say it.
Don't mess it up.
Yeah. Even though I think people will, and they have, nitpicked at things that he said or reacted, like the one where it's Zendaya, Tom Holland, and I don't know the other guy's name, but he's the guy that plays Ned, and they're all watching.
Barton.
Oh, okay. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, Josh Barton?
I'm sorry.
No, I don't remember. Anyways, yeah.
But they're watching. They're they're reacting to the trailer, and then they nitpicked at like Tom Holland saying like, "Wait, where's
stop." Yeah.
I'm just like,
at this point, I kind of think that they're playing along with it because they can't.
They know that we know.
They know that we know.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
here's no. On a serious note,
Sure.
on a serious note, no marketing department is that stupid. Like, listen, if the marketing departments were that stupid, like anyone could apply for that job and be 100% like could get that.
Yeah.
I think that at this point they're playing on Tom's, loose mouth.
Yeah.
And just kind of going forth with the fact it's like, oh, well, did he mean to say that or did he not? Oh, we'll never know. And they're kind of playing along that joke.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking more about Spider-Man later on in the issue. I just think that we're kind of like super excited. We still got our predictions because you two ladies have not yet done your predictions.
Not yet.
And
Nope.
you recently saw Andrew Garfield's
Yes.
2 movies.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to be hitting that pretty soon at the end of the issue. But it is the month of festivities.
Yes.
We're all in our Christmas gear. I'm in my elf sweater. You're in your
my Grogu sweater.
ugh,
He's real cute.
I hate the child.
What?
Reminds me of Joey.
It's the ears, isn't it? And the
It's
look.
ears. It's like, why do you look at me that way? Stop it. And you guys are in your Santa hats.
Yeah.
So black Santa hats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
With my
That's real
die-hard
cool.
buttons.
And your
Into-
Spider-Man.
And my Spider-Man.
Let's just dive into this. Dive straight into, go into this whole thing. Speaking about Die Hard,
Yes.
is it a Christmas movie?
Well, we had
No.
an issue. Hold on. We had an issue last year. We had an issue last year that we debated about it.
Yeah.
And we both came to terms that it was a Christmas
So
movie.
this was before we brought Nick in, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. It was
Okay, so
like-
this is
yeah.
before, and we both came to the consensus, like, anonymously,
Yeah.
that this is a Christmas movie.
Mhm.
But Andie and Mandy have not seen this.
No,
They've not
before
seen Die
that,
Hard.
yeah. But when that issue came out, they'd never seen it and stuff. But Mandy was already kind of like, it's really not like.
So I don't understand that kind of like attitude because Andie kind of has that, but she's like, how can I say it? If it wasn't, so Andie and I grew up on different spectrums of like old school movies.
Yeah.
She grew up with very family friendly adventure movies.
Yeah.
The Goonies.
Yeah.
Sandlot. Things like that, right? And then I'm more of like the Indiana Jones movies, Terminator,
Yeah.
RoboCop, Predator.
hardcore,
The
hardcore, yeah.
80s.
Huh?
So extreme.
Yeah.
Very
And
different.
So like Andie, when we first met, she's like, "Oh, you've never seen Forrest Gump?" And I'm like, "No,
You've never seen
Oh,
Forrest
really?
no,
Gump.
love
I
Forrest
barely
Gump.
watched it a couple years back.
Oh really?
I've never seen it.
Never like sat down and fully.
and I've seen
watched
like
it through.
clips of it.
I was gonna say there's
Yeah.
like memorable moments.
Yeah,
in
of
that
course.
movie.
Yeah, I mean that like everyone knows like life is the box of chocolates. Yeah, obviously.
bubblegum shrimp.
Yeah, that one. But like the other scenes that I would know or that I knew about was when he's running across the states and then he just stops.
Oh yeah.
Like at that scene, always stuck with my mind. I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a watch. I've never seen The Breakfast Club, and Andie's seen those movies. But then, yeah, I
good.
I
Yeah.
completely forgot that The Breakfast Club is the reason why this sequence.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that.
Yeah. that's the reason that exists. I was like, oh yeah, that's where that scene comes from. But then when she started showing me those movies, I'm like, okay, fine, but we got to watch our movies. And I showed her Terminator, and
Yeah.
she's like, what? This movie's actually good. I'm like, yeah, that's why I grew up with it, And then we watched Die Hard not that long ago. I think
Yeah,
it was like
that's-
at the beginning of like December.
No,
Yeah,
or
I
maybe it
believe
was-
so.
or it
Or
was
towards the end of
I think.
November.
It was our first Christmas movie that we watched.
Yeah.
Yep, it was.
We're saying
Andy's like,
I forgot what it like. Why we decided? Oh, it's because we were doing our Christmas shopping.
Yes.
And then I was like, we were on the way home, we were talking about it. It was like, oh, Die Hard's so great and all this other stuff. And it's like, why don't you just like shut me up and make me watch these movies? And I'm like, all right. So we got home and we literally watched Die Hard. And the entire time Andy was like, oh my God, what is he going to do?
Yeah.
Especially the scene where he's like trying to vault from one side of the shaft to the other.
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
skinny
Yeah.
little like thing. And he's like, yeah.
the glass part though, where
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like just walking
Cover-
around in the glass. Oh my God.
You gotta be
the
closer
whole
to your
time
mic.
I was,
Closer to your
my
mic.
hands were sweating. I'm
Closer
like,
to
"Ow."
your mic.
Sorry. Hello.
You're like, yeah, it was so great. Oh my God, the glass part? I was so nervous. Yeah, people can hear you.
it still picked you up.
It did.
All right, cool. As long as people know.
So we recently watched it, and I feel like, okay, the reason we're going to talk about it is because amongst the four of us, one doesn't believe it's a Christmas movie.
So for the longest time, before we actually talk about it, for the longest time, it would be an argument that we would have. Every Christmas, every around December, I would say, she'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching my favorite Christmas movie. Oh, which one? Die Hard. It's not a Christmas movie. You know, she would yell to me over the phone and stuff.
You're saying this without initially have seen it.
I've seen it, but it's been a long time. But I know what Die Hard is. I know exactly what goes on. I don't believe it's a Christmas movie. I just don't. And I have reasons why.
Okay, so you're watching your favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, so I'm watching it, and so as a whole, though, I mean, as a movie standpoint, though, if we're not talking about it as a Christmas movie, did you enjoy watching it?
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Okay.
That I love Die Hard, but I just dislike when people call it a Christmas movie because it's not.
So
It's
okay,
not.
before we
I know we're
let's
gonna
take it
right
one
now.
step at a time. Let's take it one step at a time.
We're only like 15 minutes in this episode, and already people are like,
what the? So before we argue if it's a Christmas movie or not, when Andie was watching it for the first time, I was telling her, because you and I discussed it in the issue last year, where Die Hard essentially kind of set up what action movies were going to be like.
Yes,
further down.
It was one of those movies, and you can watch it on the Movies That Made Us on Netflix.
Yeah.
They actually talk about all the things they had to go through.
Yeah,
like initially in the 80s, the like checklist tiers of like actors. Sylvester Stallone turned it down. Arnold turned it down. Even Dolph Lundgren turned it down. They're like, no, because they all read the script, and it's like, well, he's not doing anything. He's running away. He's trying to get help. He's not fighting. That's why they turned it down.
Like,
yeah. That's like, there's no. How is it actiony? Because in their movies, they started out just like machine gun, just killing everyone in the beginning of the film and stuff.
So think of like when we were watching Terminator, how like literally the Terminator was like the unstoppable robot that kept following. You know, our main character, our main protagonist down no matter what. Big machine guns, indestructible.
Because that was the goal.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, what, 80s action stars? Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
You got Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a couple other ones that I'm like...
Yeah, there's other ones that I'm not saying in the top of my head, but everyone turned
It's always weird because, like, I think that Jackie Chan would be an action star, but he's our action star. Yeah. Our generation. He's more 90s than 80s,
He's more 90s. He got more famous in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. What's his name? Made famous by Bruce Lee. Chuck Norris.
Oh, Chuck Norris turned it down. Yeah, he was. They were considering him most likely, and no, he turned it down after a while.
Wow.
And for me, as like someone that pays attention to like edits and practical effects and stuff like that, I think the part that was more exciting for me to let her see, or for her to see, was the helicopter scene. When they call in the helicopter.
I told Andy about that. Yeah, about when they did that in L.A.
Yeah.
They only shot. That was it. What they showed in the movie was the footage.
It was
that
illegal,
they could.
right?
Yeah.
It was illegal to do that. Yeah.
First, they got the okay.
I remember Bryan telling me this.
They got the okay, but they didn't tell them how they're going to shoot it, and they shot it so low to the ground, like citizens were just scared, and they actually called the police and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
They actually thought something was happening.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, movies now can go through more permits and more safety precautions and stuff like that, given the technology. Like in the Hot Ones episode, remember how Tom was talking to Alfred Molina and how he was using his arms were puppets instead, but now with the technology, it's grown to the point where it's like he doesn't have to rely on like puppeteering to kind of figure out where the
they
arms
can
are.
just like harness him, and then they can add all that afterwards.
Exactly. And rewatching Die Hard, honestly, like I could really. Like, it just appreciate it a lot more because the simplicity of what the action of that movie is like is just awesome. It's a normal guy who's just trying to mend things with his wife, and he has nothing to do with the terrorist attacks that are going to happen there.
Yeah.
But somehow he manages to take down an entire terrorist organization with just his wits.
It's just the classic.
It's great.
It's just the classic of like wrong place, wrong time.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
And then that was it.
And then it
he's
happened.
just stuck in this situation.
I love Die Hard so much that when COD Black Ops released the skins,
that was cool. You told me about
I
that.
literally bought the Die Hard one and not the Rambo one. I love Rambo. I love me some Sylvester Stallone, but like Bruce Willis, Die Hard, and his like costume or his like his attire and his watch as well that he wears in the show or in the movie. Excuse me, freaking just great.
See, the thing is, my favorite Sylvester Stallone movie is Rambo. I mean, not Rambo, but First Blood.
Okay.
But I've never seen the other Rambo movies. When they started calling it Rambo, I stopped watching it after
You're
that.
just like,
because First Blood was so good. It was just like it was so interesting. It was just basically him against the sheriffs because they treated him so badly.
Yeah.
You know. And so that was it, you know. And he claims he goes like they drew first blood, you know. That's why he retaliated because they're the ones that hurted him first.
You haven't seen Rambo, have you?
Nope.
No, it's First Blood.
Well, First Blood. But like Rambo.
We're not talking about Rambo.
No, it's not. It's not Rambo. I have to like reiterate that too because people are like, oh yeah, Rambo. No, it's First Blood.
That's what we're watching next.
Yeah.
I think the one I'm not going to make you watch is RoboCop.
What?
RoboCop's intense.
It is, but the director's cut is intense. If you watch the theatrical version, it's not
but
that.
it's not fun.
That's true. Like when the guy's on the table and just getting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay, but after Christmas.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
feel
a
like-
Christmas movie.
No,
so.
but like RoboCop is like shows you like how far the 80s was pushing it for like special effects. It was like all puppeteers and then just like green screens and stuff like that. Practical effects, so good. That's why you have to see
If
RoboCop.
Terminator 2 was violent, just wait until you watch RoboCop.
But have you seen what's it called? Is it Kindergarten? The one with Arnold?
Oh, Kindergarten Cop.
Yes.
Oh.
It's not a Duma.
See the different spectrum.
Yeah, it's like nice,
Of like
friendly,
what-
kid-friendly.
Well, I
Action,
mean, it's
gore,
not
gun.
Well, that's the
friendly.
thing.
There's some action in that movie.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the
but
thing.
not like blood.
80s was like, oh yeah, that was like action Arnold. Late 90s to mid 90s is like comedy Arnold.
He
did
mellowed-
Twins, he did Junior, Kindergarten Cop, he did Jingle All the
Yes,
Way
Jingle
because
All
he
the
was
Way.
becoming a family man. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
So you could tell that what transition was that. You
Like,
know?
I gotta mellow out, guys.
I
I'm
got
not-
kids. I need to be family friendly.
And then he was governor. The governor.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you that when he was running for governor, my dad was like super hype.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, he was like he was a very political man, but when it came down to like, you know, I don't know where he voted or anything like that, before anyone goes like, oh my god, and you know, whatever. That's not the point. The point was when like he was running for governor, my dad was like, dude, he's gonna be like the governator.
The governor.
And it's just like constantly mentioning it. I remember it as a kid. I was just like, okay, sure.
Okay.
All right, Dad.
Dude, my dad loved Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger. He was his favorite action star. He
Wow,
was the
that's
reason
awesome.
why my dad loved him so much that I was showing Terminator as a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's stuck with me since.
Yeah.
It's so great. Anyways, back to Die Hard. Is it a Christmas movie?
No.
Yes,
Yes.
or yes?
Yes.
Yes or yes? No.
All right, so yes.
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 Yeah.
No.
Oh, I didn't think
No.
Andy was gonna say
So
yes. Honestly,
okay. Should we start with why we think it's a Christmas
No,
movie,
I
or
think-
should we go with
go with have
Okay.
Mandy start because we've been talking about how much she doesn't think it is. So go
Okay.
ahead and give your points on why it's not.
I think it's a action movie that takes place on Christmas. That doesn't make it a Christmas movie though. There's no Santa. There's no Santa. It has to have a Santa to be a Christmas movie. Even like a mall Santa or a Santa that's in a gutter didn't have that at all.
There was no Santa. I will.
There
I,
was
I
no-
did watch
Thinking
it back.
about it, I
There's
can't
no
think
Santa.
of a Santa.
There was
theme.
a
We'll have to
Christmas
agree.
party,
There was.
but that's why it's an action movie based in Christmas time. That's it.
That's it.
That's
That's why you
No Santa,
No Santa.
and it was because
There's no presents. No,
There was a present. The present of survival.
Hang on.
all the bullets.
Wasn't the bear? Didn't the bear have a Santa hat?
That doesn't make him Santa Claus.
It kind of does.
No, it doesn't. There's no beard.
See, the thing was, okay, looking back at our argument that we did in for what last year? Yeah, last year. The whole reason what we considered a Christmas movie was that Christmas had to be involved in it. And if Christmas wasn't part of the plot, then it's not a Christmas movie.
Yes.
And that's why we said in Die Hard, the reason why it's a Christmas movie, this is our opinion, that the reason why it's a Christmas movie is because it takes place on Christmas Eve where everyone's either home, everyone's gone on the Nakatomi building, and that's why there's only that section of the people there in the building, and Han's specifically chose Christmas Eve because the LAPD had less police on the streets during that night. Mm-hmm. That's why he chose Christmas Eve as to take over the Nakatomi building and stuff like that.
I think so. Now that we're dissecting it a little bit further, I think that you and I are seeing it differently as to why it could be a Christmas movie.
That's why, there's different eyes, as we can say.
Well, I think it's a good movie to watch during Christmas time because it has Christmas in it. I just don't think it's a Christmas movie.
You don't think it's like joyful?
Yeah, and I'm not talking. I mean,
all right, kids, let's go. Christmas movie time.
Seriously, if we have kids, I'm gonna show them Die Hard.
Which that's fine.
Every year we're watching Die Hard.
I still won't consider it's a Christmas movie.
Like, all right, kids, we're gonna watch The Elf. We're gonna watch Santa Claus. We're gonna watch Jingle All the Way. Then when your mom goes to bed, Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay!
John McClane says that.
Because there's more action in that movie than Christmas itself.
Yes.
And that just wins me over.
So it's funny that you mention it this way because, okay, like you said, so it takes place during Christmas.
Yes.
Right? So for me, I'm borrowing a lot of aspects in which you do say it is a Christmas movie, but the main reason as to why it's a Christmas movie for me is because it centers itself around Christmas time.
But how many times does it mention Christmas, though?
Several times.
Even the FBI mentioned, when they were trying to turn off the power in the building, the chief was like, "It's Christmas Eve. Everyone's home. We can't do that." You know?
the best scene of the entire movie. I mean, he jumps off a building, right? Yeah. He's like shooting up all the terrorists and stuff. He sends the brother down the elevator, all that other stuff. But the best scene is his takedown of Hans. Yes. When he straps the gun behind his back with
Christmas tape.
With Christmas tape. Christmas saved the day, guys. So no, but that's why it's Christmas centric. Going back to that, mentioned this before we started recording. I was watching a streamer by the name of Tim the Tapman, and he was kind of going about, we've recently started watching Christmas movies because it's about that time, so on and so forth. And someone donated and said, well, have you watched Die Hard? And his response was no, because it technically isn't a Christmas movie for me. But if you believe it to be so, great. By all means, go for it. I agree with that. And it's not to kind of be in this, it's not fence sitting, it's not just kind of going, no, it's definitely not. It's how you consume it, because does it follow the normal skeletal structure of a Christmas movie? Like, if we go around right now, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Okay, Die Hard, never mind.
No, but then I said Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. Yeah. Mine is the Santa Claus.
Home Alone.
2. Elf.
Elf, right? So we all have those movies, and all of those movies technically follow
Christmas protocol,
a skeleton outline. You either are following, or the character, the protagonist, is following a message to achieve a goal about love, family, or caring for one another.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, technically, Die Hard does have that.
It does,
but it's not as hardcore.
That's what I'm saying.
Can I?
Yes.
Can I?
Go for it.
So the reason why I see it as a Christmas movie is because Christmas Day for the hostages and everyone involved, obviously except the bad guys. Yeah. Their Christmas is at stake. The woman that's about to give birth, you guys.
No, she was a couple months away from giving birth.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
she was
said
a couple
that
months away.
She was pregnant.
She was, but her stomach was big. I mean, she could have popped any time.
But their Christmas is at stake, and so, I'm sorry.
It follows the skeletal structure, and you were saying that.
No, but what's the main guy's name?
John McClane.
John McClane. It's all left to him. He without, he didn't ask for this, but man, he was so hero. He did what he had to do to save not only his wife, but for the kids too. There's that picture of his kids right there, and then they were on the news, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we just."
I was mad. I was mad at that news.
Oh yeah, me too. He was so annoying.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate, because you are correct. It does follow anyway. It cheats itself in following the skeletal structure, right? But if you look at all our favorite Christmas movies, besides Die Hard, obviously, they tend to follow that Christmas pattern. Because if you look at Elf, for example, Elf, right? You have Buddy trying to have a relationship with his dad following normal Christmas protocols. Being with him, celebrating with the tree, giving him presents, showing love and affection.
Yeah.
Brings
Jingle all the
Christmas
way.
cheer.
Exactly, the Christmas cheer. Jingle All the Way also, has Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it still follows that same protocol.
Yeah, he's trying to
that
find
toy for his kid.
Yeah, trying to be a perfect father.
Any action movie follows the same protocol too, like a Christmas movie.
It's so different. I think the reason as to why most people think of it as an action movie or that Die Hard to be a Christmas movie is because even though it doesn't have that kind of like, because you're stretching it. Like I will be honest, you are kind of stretching it in a way, saying like oh well it's the gift of survival, like all that other stuff, and he's trying to save his wife. Like okay, I get that, but does it follow the same guidelines as Elf or the Santa Claus? Or Home Alone 2. Does it have that same message? Because even let's look at Home Alone 2. There's a sequence in Home Alone 2 where what's his name? Kevin is up on that orchestra, and he's talking to the pigeon lady.
Yeah.
Right. And they have a heart to heart about what it is, like what the spirit of Christmas is.
Yeah.
Right. Die Hard technically doesn't have that.
Well, no, but. There's that whole mending with his, like, trying to mend things with his wife.
But is there a heart-to-heart
his family
in the middle?
No,
the action
it's
speaks louder than words.
I'm
on Renee's side, okay?
No, I'm in this side. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
I'm playing, well, not playing, but, like, I'm going along with, because he's not wrong.
But he started a fight as soon as he got to his wife's office and he was cleaning up.
Well,
he
that was
started
because
the fight.
he found out that his wife wasn't using.
She was using her maiden name, and that was a fight. So obviously that wasn't his first go-to. Like, oh, I need to mend things with my wife. Why are you using your maiden name? Like,
he's a very rational guy, though. That's the thing. He would react like that.
She did it for a reason.
Yeah, because it's a Japanese.
Okay,
company.
we're not arguing about the maiden name usage. We're arguing if it's a Christmas movie or not. Okay, guys.
Happens every time we talk about Die Hard.
But the whole point is, like, I think the majority of the people are going to say that it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But with that said, it is not a Christmas movie that should usually be in someone's standard rotation.
Yeah.
It's kind of like...
I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's like The Nightmare Before Christmas. Is it a Christmas movie or is it a Halloween movie?
It's in that in between.
It's a transitional movie.
No, it's a reason.
That's fence sitting.
I always watch it on Halloween because it's kind of like, oh yeah, we're transitioning.
So what? You watch it in November?
No.
So when do you watch it?
Halloween.
So it's a Halloween movie.
But then you watch it again on Christmas, though.
But see what I mean?
Oh, really?
Me and Renee have to pick and choose. Either we're going to watch it during Halloween time or we're going to watch it during Christmas time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like watching it during Halloween. That's because to me it's a Halloween movie.
Yeah, it feels more of a Halloween movie because it's him trying to take over Christmas and make it a Halloween Christmas, not Christmas.
Exactly.
As we know.
Yeah.
So.
But that's what it is that, like, Die Hard could be, I would say that a solid 80% of people, if you were to ask, 8 out of 10, would say that it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it isn't in the standard rotation.
No.
Somewhat similar to how The Nightmare Before Christmas would not be in a standard rotation for a Christmas movie.
That's a good way to put it.
I think Nightmare Before Christmas is just a way for Disney to cash it on twice.
Twice
a year.
Yeah.
It's from November to January 1st. They have it all set out. Yeah.
And then now Universal's like, well, we got this. Who the Grinch stole? How the Grinch stole Christmas? So we'll just do that.
They got Whoville.
They got Whoville, and they got Hogwarts.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah,
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry
Potter.
Don't make fun of Harry Potter. I'm wearing my Ravenclaw.
I know
it's funny.
I'm representing today.
So to go back on Die Hard, we were watching Die Hard, and we were just having a good time watching it as well too. And obviously had a young Alan Rickman in it and stuff.
Yeah,
that's
so young.
So young. And we were just talking about this, the way he talks. Like she was like, all I hear is Snape. Like that's like when he talks.
When I look at him and he talks, it just sounds like Snape.
It just sounds like Snape the whole
because
time.
he never changed that kind of
doesn't.
like.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just like
we were
it's this standing straight posture kind of
so
thing.
we were just making lines, as Alan Rickman's voice, and she made a good little funny thing where it was like, what if Alan Rickman was cast as Thanos? Like, I am inevitable.
That's great.
That's pretty good.
You should have gone for the hat.
That's so good.
Mr. Stark.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like just recite lines as Thanos, just as Alan Rickman's voice.
We just gave someone a good TikTok idea
I
right
know,
now,
right?
right? They're gonna be like doing this, like we gotta do Alan Rickman like Thanos. And it's just gonna blow up, and
I
yeah.
never taught you to lie. That's why you're so bad at it.
Man, after watching Die Hard, it made me miss watching Harry Potter movies. I think we started and we just kind of stopped watching the Harry Potter movies.
We were watching it. Well, we were watching Harry Potter movies during Halloween, like in October.
In the transitional period.
Oh, okay.
I think
somewhere
so.
around
Yeah.
November.
I made my grandma watch all the Harry Potter movies, and whole time she's like, again, why is he doing that? Don't go in there. Like, she got into it, but at the end she's like, is that it? I'm like, yeah.
No.
She's like, oh, okay. And then she was sad about it.
You know
Those
that I have not
fantastic
seen
scenes.
the last movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
Part 1 or part 2?
2.
Deathly Hallows Part 2. The
Really?
final battle
Why?
movie, basically.
So,
Why?
okay, so little short story. So, I think we can give you a transition to Harry Potter. Why not? It's technically a holiday-ish movie.
Yeah, there's
It is.
There's Christmas.
There's
There's
Christmas
Christmas
in it.
Christmas.
Yeah, huh?
So,
They say Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, Harry. So when there was this TikTok that I ran into where it was like, showing my roommate all the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, yeah.
And-
I think I said that to you. I'm not
Did you
sure.
send it?
I think so, because it shows her
Yeah, he
reaction at the
did.
end.
Yeah,
of that.
all the way up to
Send
the
it to
eighth
me
one.
too.
So it got up to the third one, and I'm just like, girl, you're not ready for this.
Oh my
Like,
God.
No. Like
Yeah.
I as someone that's like read the books and then watched the movies, it's like I know the sequence of events, and I'm like, after the third one, it ends and then it just goes like, it just goes into not good territory.
Yeah.
So what was it? Goblet of Fire. She's like, that was kind of sad. Then Half-Blooded Prince.
Oof.
Oh.
And then no,
Dumbledore.
Order of Phoenix, and then the
Oh,
Half-Blooded
so
Prince.
you got Sirius
and then
Black,
she just
yeah.
like dies after that one. And I'm like, girl, you are not ready for
You
the
are
last
not.
movie.
Yeah.
You are not ready for that one. Because and now going back into like my personal experiences, I read every book. I remember reading in 5th grade books 1 through 4 in a span of a year.
Mm-hmm.
And after 4, when Order of the Phoenix came out, my mom and dad they were so happy that I was reading books that they would like make it their mission that anytime a Harry Potter book would come out, we'd go to Sam's Club and pick up the book as soon as it came out.
Yeah.
So when Order of the Phoenix came out, we were there early morning. I missed like the first couple of classes to go pick up the book, and then I would read it that same day in its entirety. Like I'd spend all day
whole
reading
book.
it, the whole book.
Wow.
Same thing with the Half-Blooded Prince. Read the whole thing in one day,
Yeah.
in the car, nonstop.
Yeah.
Then Deathly Hallows comes out. And I remember what part I stopped reading because I said, I don't want to finish this because it's over. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
And it was the part when Harry and Hermione get to Deathly Hallows right before he visits his parents' grave.
Yeah.
I closed the book and I said, no, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I can't do it. Did not pick up the book for a solid 6-7 months.
Oh wow.
And then I
But
finally...
you saw. Have you seen the Deathly Hallows Part 1, the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
But not
It's
Part 2.
So it's up to the port. Oh my God, man. I can't talk today, dude. It's up to the part where Dobby dies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So,
cried. In the
Yeah.
movies, me and my mom saw, we
was
cried.
tearing up.
Oh my gosh.
I could not.
I
Dobby
think.
is now free.
I think what made me sad after, like that scene when, Harry's holding him and just made me kind of more tear up was that Harry says, like, I want to bury him properly. Like, I don't want to use magic.
non-magical
Yeah.
funeral,
And I was
which-
like, oh my God. I was like, that's amazing. I was like, oh.
I mean, I get the love for Bellatrix, but then I'm just like, do you understand what she did? Like, do you understand what she took
I know
away from us?
there's like people that love Bellatrix.
And I'm like,
just
then you're an evil person. No.
But you've said that in the book. She's like a lot worse.
She's yeah. I wanted to say a word, but I'm like, I can't say that. No, no, she's so much worse. And one day I just looked at the book and I said, you know what? I'm going to finish it. And I finished the second half in like literally one day.
Really?
I read through the entire thing and I cried as soon as I finished the book, and it was over. I was just like, yeah, that's it.
But you still haven't seen the movie.
I still have not yet seen the movie. I mean, I know.
Does that mean we're going to watch it tomorrow night?
No. Because we're rewatching the whole set, like the whole thing.
Where are you at right now?
We stopped after Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I hate this response from people where they're like, what do you mean you haven't seen the last movie? How do you call yourself a Potter fan when you haven't seen the last movie? Just suck it up.
I hear it as when I tell people I've never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's like I just don't. I choose. I'm not into it right now.
Okay, but that's different because it didn't have a book. Right?
No.
But here's the thing: when people come at me for not watching the last movie, I'm like, yeah, but I read the books.
Yeah, you've read the books. Yeah.
I already know what happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know that like Harry dies. But he's technically not dead, and Voldemort thinks he's alive, and then Dumbledore and Harry have this moment in like the afterlife where they see Voldemort as like a tiny little little fetus-looking thing, and he's like, "This is actually Voldemort because he's scared and vulnerable," and I'm like, "Dope." So there's a way that he's coming back.
Dope.
He came back from the gulag. He's back. And then I pictured the whole fight in my head, you know? I get it.
I have never read any of the Harry Potter books.
Neither has Andy.
I haven't either.
I stopped. I stopped after Goblet of Fire.
You stopped after.
Because they're getting bigger and bigger. I
can't do this.
My attention span was like it can only go that far.
Totally get you.
Yeah.
It's a tough read now as an adult because it plays, especially Sorcerer's Stone. I feel like that book is probably a heavy read since there's nothing that happens in terms of Hogwarts stuff until probably halfway through the book.
Yeah.
And then when he gets to Hogwarts, it's like, bam, you're done.
Yeah.
You're like, what happened? Where's all this magical stuff that happened in the movie? It's not the movie, guys. It's, literally a book. Chamber of Secrets, it's okay.
I like Chamber of Secrets.
The
actually.
book?
No, I mean, as of stories, like a movie at least, too.
So here's my kind of like take on the movies. 1 is a classic. 2 is fun. 3 is the worst. I hate the third movie. I cannot.
I'm not a big fan of it,
but
I
do. Which
do.
one was the third movie?
Prisoner of Azkaban. When Sirius Black is introduced, his godfather.
It doesn't end the way the book ends.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's supposed to be different. Shut up.
How's it end in the book?
I don't remember. I mean, obviously they go back home and they get on the train.
Yeah.
Right? I think.
Don't they?
But
isn't that all the movies? They always
Not in this one.
Not in this one. He literally flies on Buckbeak out. And the reason I told Andy was like my reason for it is like, yeah, sure, it ends well, but you also have to keep in mind that this is the moment. This is like a pivotal moment, and I think the books kind of depict it really well. Where this is now a transitional period for Harry Potter.
Yeah,
like, this is his realization that like he now is tied to something bigger than what he thinks he's tied to.
Yeah,
It says the Marauders are reunited at the end of the Prisoner of Azkaban?
I don't remember.
In the book?
I have not read the book since I was like in elementary school.
I feel like now when you read big books like that as an adult, you don't have time.
Yeah.
You literally try to set out a scheduled plan to read a big book and then you don't.
They're easy reads, but it's so I don't want to say it's like a basic level, like kind of like book, but it isn't like something that if you read or tend to read a lot, it's going to keep you captivated.
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't grow up with them. It's a very difficult read, especially if you're kind of like, oh, this is really basic. Like, I mean, the words are simple and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you can, do it. And if you can't, don't. Doesn't matter. The movies are there anyways. They're super close enough to it. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, are we done with the holiday talk? And
we can move on to what was released last night.
Idiots! Sonic 2!
Oh, man.
Yes.
And it looks like this is basically like what everyone's been waiting for a Sonic movie of all these characters coming back. Yeah.
Bryan and that one kid.
The Sonic 2 trailer.
Dude, I grew up with Super Mario, but Sonic always had like a special place in my heart because it was one of those games that I'm like, I don't get the point of this. You want to be a platformer, but at the same time, you're making me run. Like, either make me go fast Or
Go
don't.
fast.
You ever play any of this?
Faster. So we were talking about this when last night we officially sat down and watched Sonic the Hedgehog.
Because he didn't want to watch it.
I didn't want to watch it because I told you it's a video game movie and stuff like that.
Have you played the Sonic video games?
I've played. When I watched the Sonic movie, it made me want to play the Sonic Adventure game from the Sega Dreamcast.
Sonic. Oh,
that's
the 3D
my
one.
Sonic game.
Okay,
yeah, that's my Sonic game. I did play Sonic 2 the Hedgehog on the Genesis.
Yes,
but it was there because it was there.
Yeah.
I didn't choose to play it. It was like, oh, it's just one of the games I'll play. I'll put on Sonic because I know of Sonic. But what got me into Sonic was Sonic Adventures from the Sega Dreamcast because the graphics were so cool.
I mean, it was 3D Sonic. It's like you can go fast and just be fast.
Yeah, it was fun totally too. It had everyone in it as well. So
Sonic Adventure. I played Sonic. I grew up with Sonic 1, 2, 3. Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes.
Now, was there a game called Sonic Racers? Because she says she played.
There was a game. Yeah, I remember that,
Mm-hmm.
and I always liked to play as Knuckles and Shadows. That's the only two, but my brother wouldn't let me play them, so I had to play as Tails. Because
Tails is dope.
like,
Tails
those
is great.
are mine. No, I wanted to play as Knuckles. Knuckles is my boy.
No, Sonic. So, man, you should have played Sonic Heroes. Sonic Heroes is like a classic. If you like Sonic Adventure, because Sonic Adventure also introduced Big the Cat.
Yeah,
it was his first appearance. And then Sonic Heroes, dude. Okay. So Andie didn't know this about me until like a couple years after we were dating. That I was like a huge Sonic fan.
Oh yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, she didn't know. But
like Sonic never came up in those 2
no.
years.
It was like
we were all into. What were we into? What were we watching? I don't remember. But yeah, you didn't bring it up.
No.
It wasn't brought up.
And then the Game Grumps started playing Sonic Adventure 2. And there's a bit, literally in the first episode that they started playing, it was Escape the City.
Yeah.
And the song, Moving Around at the Speed.
Oh, yeah.
That song started playing.
Yeah.
And I immediately, it clicked in my head. I'm just like, I know this entire song. Because I replayed that level multiple times.
Yep.
Sonic games have some banger music.
Oh, yeah. They've
It's got
always
some
had good
great
music.
It has some great music. So when Sonic was announced, the movie, I was like, dude, let's go. Has Jim Carrey. It's got Ben Schwartz as Sonic, which no one really was like on board with.
No, because he wasn't a big time actor, you know.
So do you know the controversy was to why people were against Ben Schwartz being Sonic?
Why?
Look up the original voice actor for Sonic X. So Sonic X was a cartoon series that came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
I watched that. Yeah.
He was the iconic, that voice actor was the iconic voice for Sonic.
Yeah.
Like, he was the one that, like, everyone would look forward to and be like, this is the voice of Sonic.
Yeah.
And Sonic would be voiced here and there by a couple other people, but he was the main one that everyone went towards. When he announced his retirement...
Jason Griffith.
When they announced his retirement, or when he announced it, this was around the time that Ben Schwartz was like going in and he got the role and stuff like that. People were just livid. They just did not like that because you're taking away an iconic voice of a character that a lot of people liked and giving it to someone that really doesn't have any experience in terms of voice acting. Like, how could you Sonic?
I didn't even know that was a thing, that there was controversy.
There was, like, people were pissed off.
So there was no like kind of like passing the torch or something like that to transition.
Or did they
It was
add the
behind the
original?
scenes. I mean, put it this way: in terms of video games and stuff like that, when I say like there's an uproar, it's literally like David throwing a stone at Goliath. Like, it doesn't matter. Like most of the world's not going to realize anything.
Yeah.
It's just the community inside of it is like, ah! And
Yeah,
everyone
it's
on the
like
outside,
there's already a person that does it. Why not just hire that person to do it?
Maybe he
That's
didn't
the
want to
thing.
do it.
That's the
Maybe
thing.
he's tired of being Sonic.
That could be it.
I know there was a reason for it. I think that it was just that he was done with the role.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting like the video game roles anymore. He wasn't getting the live action roles. So he's like, you know what? I think I'm good. I'm going to pass on the torch. And he did.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, Ben Schwartz and Jason Griffith met, I believe. And
No, I think they did. Yeah.
they did, and then Ben Schwartz started to kind of... We didn't know this until after the movie was released and the press conferences were happening.
Yeah.
Ben Schwartz actually grew up as a Sonic fan.
Oh.
And he replayed a lot of those games, and he adapted what he knew into this character.
He was a great voice actor
did.
for Sonic.
I
loved
liked him.
it.
I
Yeah.
liked him.
He was a good voice.
But
Yeah.
they are getting the one that does a voice of Tails in this
Brian's
movie.
excited.
Yeah.
So hyped.
So that's what I found interesting, and that's why I think it's so funny you say that, because I was reading about it, because when they announced the trailer, and then I was just scrolling through, and it's like, oh, the original voice actress that voices Tails is going to voice Tails in the
Yeah.
movie. But Knuckles is going to be voiced by Idris Elba.
That is so cool.
Which is so interesting because I loved, like, remember like 5 years ago, Idris Elba was like, I'm tired of doing like these sci-fi comic book movies and stuff like, and then now he's doing Knuckles.
Back where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, he's like, he knows where the money's at.
Yes. But that's the
Smart
thing.
Man.
Look, Sonic, I get it. Most people don't like the games because they're weird. They're an in-between state. You're a platformer or you're like speed running this game. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Right?
I've never played the Sonic games.
Okay.
You have a Switch, don't you?
Don't, because you pissed me off playing Super Mario Brothers. No,
Whoa.
you know why? No.
I walk it
So
and I don't run it.
Yes, she walks every level. No, me, I hold the sprint button and he's literally running through the entire level.
I gotta hit every block.
No.
I gotta look for the secret.
Point A to point B.
No.
Hit the block somewhere.
I will say this. There's a lot that goes on in the Mario games. There's a lot to see.
Yes.
When you're first playing it, you're very worried. I get it.
Ryan's like, no.
I get it. But when it comes to Sonic, though, you gotta run.
You gotta go fast.
Yeah.
That's the point of Sonic games.
Because in the Sonic games, they're meant to go. You're supposed to go really fast and then just hit so many things.
The ring that sucks. Get over it.
Keep going.
No, you go back. You turn them around.
No.
So
you can't.
But that's what's fun about Sonic is that it is a game that you need to run fast. You need to go fast because
you need to go fast.
That's how you get through the levels.
Yeah.
You know, and Sonic Adventures was great at doing that as well too. Remember,
when you played Sonic.
Yeah, when you play as Sonic, you're going you know, and stuff. When you're at the island, remember the beginning, you're going so fast.
The killer whale goes through the bridge.
Yeah, the killer whale's coming.
Run!
Yeah, you're literally scared. One time I was like, I was so scared because every time you have to do that, and I think I was playing on easy mode at the time because I was a little kid. So one day I just slipped, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna die, and it keeps going. So in easy mode, it just does it for you, and I'm just like,
but that's the thing is that I feel like, you know, because you said that you didn't want to watch the Sonic movie because it's a video game.
It's a video game movie, and lately, video game movies that are the adaptations of video games for movies are not that great. The track record's not great.
Now, what makes the Sonic movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, such a great video game adaptation is that it knows it can't be anything great, so it just tries to be fun.
So that's the thing, and I noticed that when watching the movie, it doesn't take a lot of risks. It plays it safe, but in the way of storytelling. In acting wise, Jim Carrey is great.
Oh, Jim Carrey is
Jim Carrey is so funny.
Oh, yes.
It felt like classic Jim Carrey again and stuff like that. But I was telling her, I was like, it feels like Jim Carrey is now reaching that point in his career where, like, I think we were talking about it, where it's like, if Hollywood pushes him over the edge, casts him in so many stuff, it might be Robin Williams all over again.
Yeah, I brought that up because, you know, Robin didn't really express how he felt. Yeah, we knew he was depressed, but he was pushing and pushing and
he was
pushing.
Doing role after role after role.
I feel like when Jim Carrey had that breakdown, after that, I think everybody took a step back from him. And you said, okay, if you want to do it, let's do it. If you don't worry about it. We're not going to make you feel bad. We're not going to push you. Because I'm worried. Yeah. If we lose Jim Carrey that way, I think I'm going to...
So what I was telling Andy when we watched the Sonic the Hedgehog movie was that Jim Carrey didn't feel forced in this movie.
No.
Because the thing is, when you look at a lot of Jim Carrey roles, it's like, it's Jim Carrey playing Jim Carrey, but he's like kind of putting in the character into this persona. Yeah. So you're getting a mix-up of the two. But here, it's not like he's forcing to be Dr. Eggman. It's like he's forcing Jim Carrey... Or he's forcing Dr. Eggman
to be Jim Carrey. Yeah.
And that's what's interesting because I remember in the games, you know, Eggman wasn't that quirky.
No.
He was just there. He was just like the evil science dude.
I got you now, Sonic.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's Eggman and stuff. No, there's actually dialogue between Eggman and Sonic, which I love. And then also it's just seeing him just move around and even talk to his minion, so funny and stuff. When he when they're at the Roadhouse bar after Sonic and what's his name? I forgot his name. James Madison's character.
Yeah.
And he goes in for a high five and he just like throat checks him and he goes don't leave yourself open and just walks away.
No, he's like, you left yourself open. He's like, okay. Or I like when Jim Carrey is like, pin yourself to the wall. He's like this.
Oh yeah, he pins himself.
But that's the thing about the Sonic storylines is that there's so many of them that you could literally make this movie anything you want. So when we look at a lot of these video game adaptations, like Resident Evil, for example, right?
Yeah.
It tries really hard to follow a Resident Evil storyline.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work because it's not original. Even Cowboy Bebop, right?
Yeah.
So did you see that it got canceled?
Yeah, I saw it got canceled.
Yeah.
So much backlash, that's why, because it was the
What
people
happened? I don't know.
because it didn't get good reviews and just so many fans were just so loud of. That's why I think it got canceled, because anime fans were just really loud about the adaptation.
You know what?
They were
Anime
upset
fans are
about
very
it.
toxic.
Yeah.
It's, no matter what happens or what they do, something's always wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the unfortunate thing about adapting to certain things like that. Like Cowboy Bebop, if we're talking in terms of like anime or influential animes, Cowboy Bebop is one of the most like influential ones. Like everyone should be seeing it. Like,
It's essential.
Dragon Ball is
it's
an iconic one.
It's definitely an essential anime list to watch on like if you're gonna start watching anime. It is essential.
It's one season.
I'm very picky on anime. I just, I've never watched Cowboy Bebop.
I mean, it's like, so that's the thing is that like, okay, so another essential anime, Evangelion. It's not one for everyone, but it is an essential anime. I always joke about it saying like it is such a garbage tier anime, but everyone needs to watch it if you're going to kind of like appreciate anime to its fullest. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
And Cowboy Bebop is one of those. It's one season. It's the animation's beautiful.
It's a one and done story, right?
One and done story, I believe. And I recently started rewatching it again. It's just so.
I need to rewatch it because I never finished it. Yeah, I never finished it, so I need to rewatch it again.
So it's a really good one.
Yeah.
So Cowboy Bebop got canceled because the first season followed. According to, I haven't seen the live action, but a lot of the complaints were it's not original enough. It tried to force itself to be the anime live action, and you know how you said it yourself. People are super picky about it. So when you don't follow the storylines to the T, people are going to say like, "Oh, it's so terrible. It didn't do well here. It didn't do that. It didn't include this. The characters were so different, so on and so forth." And you have a lot of that kind of like infighting between fans.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I can only imagine when Avatar comes out. I know.
I don't think that's gonna do well.
But
I'm scared.
But you're not getting
Avatar
M. Night.
fans are
You're not getting.
really they're just as loud.
We're traumatized.
That's why I say Core is better.
We're traumatized by.
Nah, fam, I don't remember that. I suppressed those emotions. I suppressed M. Night's perspective.
When it comes to the new live action Avatar coming out, I don't think it's gonna do well.
Hey, look, give it time, bro. Give it time. All right, but we're not talking about Avatar.
You're putting
we're talking
too much
about Sonic.
faith right now.
We're talking about Sonic, all right?
Yeah.
Sonic didn't follow a storyline.
No, it didn't.
You watched Sonic
Yeah,
X.
we watched it
Did you
together.
watch Sonic X?
Wait, what?
Did you watch the
Oh, the
cartoon Sonic
animated.
X?
No.
The animated. Oh my god.
I'll be honest with you. The only reason why I know about Sonic
Gotta
is
go
because
fast.
every time
Sonic.
they would do the Olympics and they would do the
Sonic
game.
and Mario at the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
When
That's
they
the
when
only-
they did that was crazy though. That's the thing. You
Look.
gotta admit, when they started crossing over Sega and Nintendo characters, you were like, ooh, yeah.
So when Sonic came out in Super Smash Brothers, I chose Sonic just to troll. And I love doing this every time I get a knockout. I'm like one of the most like toxic Smash Brothers people, but I don't care. Everyone in Smash Brothers is pretty much toxic anyway. in their own
Anyone
way.
that plays Smash Bros. It's just
There's
a
a little bit of
person.
toxicity there, and that's perfectly fine. You know, it's okay. But every time I get a knockout, I always do the taunt, and I do the taunt where he's like running. He's like Sonic Speed, and I'm like, yeah.
Sonic Speed.
But Sonic X was a good cartoon, and it basically followed the storyline of Sonic being transported from his world to Earth, where he meets this little boy, and they basically tried to stop Dr. Eggman from taking over Earth and gathering the Chaos Emeralds. But all the characters that you know and love will still pop up. You got Amy. Big the Cat was even introduced there because that was after Sonic Adventure. So you had Big the Cat there. You had Cream. You had Chow's. You had Knuckles. You had Rose.
I think Sonic Adventures, when that came out, kind of like revamped Sonic as a like character, where it's like
because it made him have a persona now.
Yeah.
He wasn't just a quiet character.
Yeah.
And Sonic the Hedgehog borrowed some stuff from Sonic X because now he's dealing with a human companion.
Yeah.
But it still was an original storyline because he left his home, got stuck here because he wasn't wanted there, right?
No, he was being hunted when they found out
That's right.
Because he's a last of his kind. It's one of those stories.
It's one of those, yeah.
He's the last of his kind.
You
and
have to
then,
go
like,
to the mushroom
He's very
world.
rare, yeah.
And like I guess like they need his energy because he can harness energy and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
He is the energy.
Yes. So it did follow its own storyline. It's original. It's very, it's very kid friendly. It's got some humor in it.
Yeah.
And
it appeals to fans as well, hardcore fans.
My favorite scene. My favorite scene of this, and this is where I knew that this movie was going to be like the perfect video game movie. When they talk to the homeless guy, I believe it's the homeless guy, I think, or some dude in the town. He's like,
no, the crazy
crazy
Carl.
guy. The crazy Carl. He's like, can you show us a depiction of what you saw? And it's Sonic. And I'm like, they know. That's all that matters.
They're probably gonna do that for Knuckles too.
Oh.
Yeah, they're gonna do that with Knuckles.
Do you know the way?
Do you know the way?
They can. I
That
think
would
that's
be
a little bit
great.
racist, but still, it's
That's what they got Idris Elba.
I hope he does.
gosh.
Do you know the way?
I just, man.
So go ahead. Yeah.
Did you like the movie at all? Because you haven't said anything about Sonic yet.
Oh, well, I think I'm trying to remember like what the story plot was.
It was when like Sonic.
He lost the rings.
He lost the rings, so it's in San
Oh
Francisco.
yeah, that's right. See, I don't remember. It was a cute movie, but it
went
wasn't
kind of fast.
It's Sonic.
pun
What do you expect?
that movie we watched. What it came out
Theater.
2-3 years ago. 2 years ago.
No, 3 years ago. It was like
It was
2018.
3 years ago. It's been a while, and I haven't
Really?
rewatched it since.
I think so. It was like 2018.
Yeah, it
Let
was
me
definitely
see.
not
I thought
last
it was.
year.
I thought it
That
was
doesn't
last
sound-
year.
No.
No,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Really?
it's been a while.
didn't we watch it for like
Did it
Valentine's
come-
Day?
I want to say 2019. Oh no, 2020 came out 2020.
What?
Remember, it came out during the pandemic.
Oh!
It was.
I was like,
the
what
trailer,
are you talking about?
The trailer
So
was.
wasn't it announced in like 2018,
It was.
2019?
It was announced in 2018 that they were gonna do
And
it.
then it was.
We
It looked
saw-
all weird.
Right.
We saw a trailer in the beginning of 2019,
And we get weird Sonic.
Yeah.
Imagine. I wonder what like the other characters' tails and Knuckles would look like if they were animated, like the first trailer of where Sonic was
I don't even remember the
animated
trailer.
weird.
For the second Sonic movie?
No, I
The
remember
first one.
The first
I
one.
don't even remember the first trailer. For the first.
It was
Sonic.
weird. I mean, this
It
is
was
like
really
we
weird.
there was like no. I had no the cursed photo.
Oh, okay.
He looks real weird.
Yeah.
It looks like
Thank
Joey.
goodness it's not.
Looks like Joey. And look, they instead of giving him gloves, they give him just like furry white hands.
Oh, that's
Ew.
creepy.
They didn't give him gloves. And
That's
yeah.
no.
His nose looks.
No, they
wet.
made-
What's
gave him
wrong
more-
with his eyes?
Oh yeah, it wasn't animated. They gave him more like a human face.
Yeah, I
essentially.
wanted
It was strange.
I'll
And this
tell you
got
right now.
so bad backlash.
I'll tell you right now, if Nike releases the Sonic shoes, I'm buying them this time around again, or I'm buying them this time around.
Around.
Yeah, because I missed the first drop, and I want them. I want them, and I'm gonna run like super fast.
I think I remember when we watched the movie. Was it really
Here's a side by side.
2020?
Yeah.
Oh,
His eyes look bigger.
Yeah, because that's how Sonic's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the heck animated
Yeah, they
him
try
the
to
first time
texturize
around?
everything. That's why they made him more of a Who.
Yeah, he looks like a Who for
Yeah.
sure.
if the Grinch had a baby, it'd be blue, and that would be it.
All right, we got to move this
Nightmare
topic
fuel.
along real quick.
Okay.
So, we've all seen the second trailer.
Yes.
It was announced at the Game Awards. What'd you all think of it?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a
I
big
feel like
Sonic
I'm the only
fan.
one that's like. I think it's because I kind of know what the storyline is going to be.
Yeah.
I'm in it for the ride.
I mean, it just it feels like it's like the classic kind of sequel where it's like they take a well-known character that we've known, which is Knuckles, and make him not the bad guy, but like the misunderstood character.
Yes,
Where
I know
just
this.
wanna see
I know the
Knuckles.
storyline.
Yeah,
I
so-
know.
Oh, and I like Tails. I like the way Tails looks, and
Tails is
yeah.
cute.
He's
Yeah.
so cute. I think they all look cute.
But Knuckles is my man,
And-
so I'm waiting for him.
Both knuckles, swole knuckles.
Yeah,
she loves Knuckles
I
and
love,
Shadow.
Yeah.
So this Knuckles is not the Knuckles that we usually see in the video games. It's
Yeah.
more from the Sonic Boom.
Yeah, he's a, like he's more like
He's got
chunky.
the buff shoulder.
I
and
like
the
how he
chest
does
and
the thing with his knuckles and goes
Mm-hmm.
boom, boom.
yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah, that's Sonic
Look
Boom.
at
He
him.
did. They did really good on him.
Yeah.
I'm excited
So
about that. I'm
what-
getting Knuckles merch.
Here's what you got to expect from the
Cute.
sequel. So in the sequel, because we all know that there's Chaos Emeralds, but you all know that there's a Master Emerald, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Why not?
Again, I'm in it for the
Emeralds,
ride.
they're
So-
shiny things.
They're green, and that's all that matters. No, there's different colors, okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, so in this one, I have a feeling that what they're going to borrow,
Oh, he's so
He's
he
so
looks like a cuter
cute.
version than Joey.
Yeah, I would buy if there was a plushie of him. I'd buy it. I'd buy it.
So I feel the way that Knuckles is going to be introduced in this one is that Dr. Eggman influences him to
Yeah.
go after Sonic.
Yeah.
Because we do see the Master Emerald
Yeah.
in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's not the Chaos Emerald. I think it's
It's
I'm
the
hoping they
Master-
don't use the Chaos Emerald.
No,
I hope it's the
think-
Master Emerald.
I think they're gonna introduce the Master Emerald because that's connected to Knuckles, and we're gonna get introduced to the Chaos Emeralds later.
Okay, so hang on. This is my prediction of how it's going to go down. So Eggman influences, he steals the Master Emerald, and then Knuckles basically tells Knuckles, "It wasn't me, dude. I didn't take it, but I do know who did take it. It's going to be this guy." So he comes down to Earth and basically fights Sonic and says, "How dare you steal my Master Emerald?" And they fight it out. And then Sonic knocks him out, and he's like, "Dude, I'm not your enemy. You got to work together to take down Dr. Eggman." And they do. And the way this movie ends is they introduce the Chaos Emeralds, but we get Rogue. I think people are saying, "Oh, Amy's gonna pop up." I don't think it's
No.
Amy. I think it's Rogue the cat.
We'll probably get you know what? I'm gonna say it's gonna be Shadow in the third one.
No. Yeah, as the enemy.
Yeah.
But not we don't. I hope that they don't tease him.
Oh, they will.
No, get someone else like Rogue. You know.
No.
I'm hyped for it. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Same.
Are we ready to move on to
I
the
don't
Yeah,
think
because
same
there's not
as-
much. Because
Yeah.
it's just a
not that
trailer
excited.
at this
We're
point for
excited,
Sonic.
but not as
We're excited for you, Brian.
Yeah,
We're ready for
there we
you.
go.
Well, are you going to see it in theaters? Or
Yes!
Yeah. Okay.
I don't
He's
care.
gonna be like, "You freaking freaks."
When will you learn? When will you learn? To all the kids that are talking in the theater. Shut your mouth.
I've been a big Sonic fan. And you're like, huh? Yeah, right. Because that's something you would do.
You weren't there when it was hard, all right? Oh, man. All right. So, as we mentioned before earlier in the podcast, we're 1 week away from the biggest movie of the year. Honestly, it's the biggest movie of the year.
Yeah, it is.
Hands down.
It is.
Yeah.
Hands down. No matter what anyone says, it's the biggest movie of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out, and we're watching it Thursday.
Yeah.
So, Nick gave his predictions in issue 76. 76. So if you guys want to listen to Nick's predictions, go ahead and hop on over to issue 76 to hear what Nick has to say. But Nick's not here, so we're going to give our predictions before we actually go see it later on this week, because by the time this issue comes out, we're a day away technically from the release.
Yeah.
Now, before also, Mandy has just caught up on all the Spider-Man movies.
All the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah. She watched the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. She was relentless because you don't like Andrew Garfield. You have a...
I just don't like him as Spider-Man. I don't. And then the first movie was very awkward when he was making his spider webs. The music didn't match
no, that's
for
Spider-Man
me.
2.
That's Spider-Man 2?
Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 2. When he's doing it with the electrodes, right? When he's trying to figure it out with the battery. Yeah. it's the second-
No, that was the first one when he was making them.
Oh, but there's no song playing. Though.
Yes, there is.
Are you talking about the skateboarding scene?
I don't know. There was.
Okay, so-
I guess I blocked it out of my memory already.
So, because Andy was watching Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man
I
recently.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
I had it in the background.
So it's kind of
It's
funny.
been a while.
It has been. I haven't
Yeah.
seen the Amazing Spider-Man movies in years.
You should rewatch them before
I
we
do.
see it.
I'm gonna rewatch all the movies just because I need to get into that zone, you know.
Yeah.
But it's funny to me because I had this dilemma where, you know, as the newer Spider-Man come out, you look back at the other ones, you're like, oh, I didn't like this aspect and I didn't like that and all this on and so on and so
Yeah.
on. Andrew Garfield wasn't my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm older and it's settled in, I can kind of respect what he did with Parker.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And-
But it's mostly the writing aspect of it, and what he did with it was I liked it. I didn't mind it.
He was the modern day Peter Parker.
Again, I thoroughly enjoyed as a kid watching the Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi Spider-Man. But the thing is that when looking back on it, it's not my favorite iteration of that character.
It's what?
well, which one's my favorite? It's Tom Holland. I like Tom Holland's iteration more because it's a kid. He's in high school. Mm-hmm. Every time those before movies, it was like always like the first movie's always in high school, mm-hmm. and then like, oh no, he's.
But they're always a senior in high school, like the first movies. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This one in these movies, he's actually going to graduate high school.
Yes.
By the time this No Way Home comes out.
So Andie had something interesting to say regarding the differences between Toby, Andrew, and Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because when I was watching it, I hadn't watched the Spider-Man movie, like the one from 2002. I don't know when the second one came out. I'm assuming
came
like
out in 2004.
2004, 2 years later. Yeah. And watching them, and I was telling Brian, I'm like, I didn't realize how like just like his character Peter, he goes through a lot. Like he, they're so wholesome in a sense because you see him kind of grow from, because he's in high school and going to adulthood. He's still a teenager, but like the part where Ben is talking to, or Uncle Ben is talking to Peter, and Peter Peter, he already got bit by the spider. He's testing out these new abilities that he has, and he's so excited, and he feels all high and mighty like any teenager would feel like, and now with this enhanced like superpowers that he has, he feels invincible. He just beat up that bully in the high school. And his uncle's concerned, like, what's going on? Your changes? Like, I know, I understand. He's like, no, you don't, Uncle, and kind of like back talks him. And it's so wholesome. I don't think we see that in Andrew Garfield's movie or in
Not
Tom
till the
Holland's.
second one. So it's a great point, because if we really tear apart the essence of Spider-Man Peter Parker, what makes him one of the greatest superheroes ever to be created is that he is created through loss, through the consequences of action. And it's for me personally, and we've talked about this in one of the early issues. This is like year 0, essentially. It's one of those early issues. Parker was the influence for me as a kid, because no matter how tough life got for him, he always stood up. He lost his uncle. He always got back up. He lost his uncle due to his own actions, and instead of letting it bring him down, he rose again. He accidentally kills his girlfriend trying to save her, and instead of bringing himself down, he rose up again. There's different storylines, those are the main ones, but you have different storylines when he faces off against the Sinister Six, when he dies at the hands of Kraven the Hunter, when he takes over the black suit, the symbiote, and he has to realize that this violence, this aggression that he has isn't the right way to go. All these letdowns that happen just make him a stronger person. And Andie's definitely right. Tom Holland hasn't had that loss yet. We haven't had it, because when we look at Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie, the loss happens when Ben Parker dies. Right? And that is what brings him up as Spider-Man. And everything afterwards is because of that. With great power comes great responsibility. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man doesn't get that until the second one, when he kills Gwen. And unfortunately, we didn't get the third one, because that is an essential cornerstone of what makes Spider-Man great. The loss of Gwen Stacy. At
the cost of his own actions.
And as much as people
it's her fault too, because she was told to stay away, and she said, no, I'm going to help.
Yes.
And he warned her, like, no, I his whole conscious about her father telling him, I don't want you around my daughter because of this reason. And sure enough, she's like, nobody tells me what I need to do.
Think about what you just said. Think about exactly what you just said right now. The loss happened because one of the people that he cared about did not listen to him. What's going to happen in this third one? This could potentially be the loss that is going to turn, the Tom Holland that we know now into a full-fledged Spider-Man.
But what loss will that be, though?
We don't. We'll get into those predictions.
There's characters that are, obviously very important to him.
So as much as people really don't like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I can understand why. I understand it. But I rewatched that scene where he kills Gwen. I rewatched it.
I hate that scene.
Even on its own, it hurt, because it's like the amount of acting that Andrew Garfield, as much as you didn't like him, give him credit for that scene.
I didn't see him as Spider-Man. I guess I like Tobey Maguire, but I didn't really see him as Spider-Man either. I like stupid movies. I like bad movies and stuff like that. So I guess that's why I like Tobey Maguire's movie. But when I saw Andrew Garfield, I just didn't get that connection. Tom Holland, I get more of a connection, but like he's just missing a spark. Let
me connect these two real quick for you, okay?
Okay.
So when Tobey Spider-Man, Tobey Parker sees Ben on the floor dead. Put that scene next to Andrew Spider-Man holding on to Gwen as she's dying.
Yeah.
Those two scenes are basically the same.
Yeah.
Because it's basically, when we see Tobey, he's speaking to Ben.
Yeah.
And basically saying, like, it's his last words. Like, this is what's going to create you and create that momentum to go forward into becoming the man that you're going to be.
Yeah.
Here with Andrew Garfield, you get that same moment. Because if you notice, as the back snaps and he goes down, there's this, like, movement of disbelief where he's just like, this isn't happening. He's holding on to Gwen.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, come on, stay with me. We know she's dead. The back snaps, you're done. Yeah. Like, that's it. But he's like struggling to come to that realization. And if we would have had a third movie, we would have seen that kind of like, we would have gotten a very aggressive Peter Parker. One that's just going to go out there and start beating the crap out of everyone, whoever the villain could have been.
So you said Tom Holland hasn't had that moment yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay,
losing someone.
Is this... Okay, but wait, is this movie before the snap or...
Yes.
This one's after.
Okay, so he did lose somebody.
Far From Home took place after the snap.
So
after the snap.
The difference, and I was telling Brian, the difference is that he has lost
Tony Stark,
but not at his own hands. It's not his fault. He hasn't done something, and it seems like it's a pattern where it's something that he does, he learns from it, and then grows with it. So... Because
No Way Home is borrowing from... Well, we don't know yet,
right?
But it could be borrowing from that One More Day storyline.
Yeah.
Again, I mention it, and people are like, "Oh, it's so gross. The storyline sucks." Yeah, I get it, but that storyline again goes back to this whole loss thing.
Yeah.
Because if for listeners that might not be familiar with it, I assume so. Civil War. At the end of Civil War, Aunt May dies. Okay, the comic book Civil War, Aunt May dies. Okay, and it's because Parker. You haven't read the Civil War comic book, right?
No, she doesn't read.
I don't read comics.
You don't. Oh, it's
that's why I have Renee.
That's a good one to read.
That's why I have Brian.
Exactly.
Our sources.
I have the first print, by the way. I have the first print at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gotta see that too.
I'll show it to you.
You should read it to me later.
So it's a good storyline to read because it's a very down to earth, very truthful kind of like arc.
Yeah.
Like for me, AVX is my favorite arc. And Civil War is one of those that's like on par with that. It's probably one of the original ones where it's like, this is a down to earth, true storyline that grounds a lot of superheroes. And when Parker comes out and says, "I am Spider-Man," it literally is like, I think it's like the third or fourth issue, right? Mm-hmm. He like the book ends with him taking off his mask at a news conference. It says, "I am Peter Parker and I am Spider-Man." Mm-hmm. And those events lead up to Aunt May basically getting killed.
Oh my!
Because he revealed who he was. His actions led to that consequence.
Yeah.
Right? So in No Way Home, we're getting that because he is now revealed to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And what does Doctor Strange do? Well, we can reverse the timeline and make it so that people don't know you're Spider-Man. I don't want certain people to forget. Well, my love for MJ and all this other stuff and things are going great. And he starts messing with the timeline. Mm-hmm. His actions are now going to lead to a consequence.
So do you think MJ is going to get extremely hurt, or
we don't know? Could be MJ, could be Aunt May,
or Emma Stone's coming back and then re-die again.
I've had a theory. And it's funny you mentioned that, where about Aunt May and stuff like that, because I've been watching the interviews for the villains and stuff. Jamie Foxx kind of insinuates that Green Goblin is very, like, more sinister in this one.
There's rumors that he's the main villain.
So I think that's what that is, because the infamous scene that Green Goblin has done in the Sam Raimi one is that he had to make Peter Parker choose between saving Mary Jane and the kids. What if this time he does MJ and Aunt May? and it's
I didn't like it.
Whoa, it got real silent.
I literally, no, you said that. I was just like, you asshole. You're mean.
I'm thinking very Sinister like. That's the thing. And
you just brought me back to when they killed Spider-Man in issue 500. It was like, dude.
Because I feel like this is the end of the Homecoming trilogy.
Yeah, it is.
It has to be, and you guys, and it's funny, you guys are talking about he needs to have someone die to move forward. What if Green Goblin?
I don't want to be on this.
What if Green Goblin?
Got real.
That's the thing. What if Green Goblin actually is that Sinister and makes him
God
choose?
dang it, Renee!
Yeah. Like,
you're right. It's because Green Goblin is the one that makes him choose.
He's
You're
the one that
make
pushes
him cry, Renee. Look at his face.
He makes him push to that limit. He's already done it with MJ and just random folks, but now he knows who he is.
It's that scene on the bridge when he drops Gwen.
Yeah. But instead of Gwen, it's MJ and then Aunt May at the same time.
I feel like this kid's going to be real lucky because if there are other Spider-Mans coming in, he's not going to be alone.
Okay, so...
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, wait, if there's two more
He might
Spider-Man,
have the other Spider-Man,
but
they
there's
could be,
two other villains.
That's the thing. We have the Sinister
Supposedly.
Six, essentially. So what if they're occupied fighting those villains at the time?
No.
And they all fill the film.
I'm going to grab a page from Nick's prediction and say this. I think you're on the right track.
Yeah.
That Green Goblin will probably be the one to say, like...
Make him have the ultimate decision.
Yeah,
if it's not MJ and May, I will say he's going to have... like same
MJ
thing.
or Ned or something,
Someone,
right?
Someone, yeah.
And so Tom will probably choose. I don't think... You can't kill off Zendaya.
No.
You can't. That she's huge now.
What if
Yeah.
they do?
Maybe Zendaya is
I mean,
Kevin
Marvel-
Feige's not committing production suicide. There's no way. That's literal, that is literal, you are killing your franchise by killing Zendaya.
Why? I'm not going in there to go watch Zendaya.
She's too big of an actress.
She can do other stuff.
Okay, but
She can find other roles.
again, you're going in there with that mentality of I'm here for Spider-Man and stuff like that. But
Well,
think of the audience.
I'm not a big fan, to be honest,
Okay,
of her
but
MJ.
think of the audience.
Or her character, really.
Think of the audience, the general audience.
We're the audience.
Okay,
Andy's the audience.
But we have to accept the fact that the way that we are a small portion of the massive fan base that this franchise has accumulated.
I just want the story.
Yes, we care about the characters. We care about, Parker's, arc and growth and everything like that. But we are a small portion of the big audience that exists for the franchise. And when we talk about the audience, you have to consider the people who go in there to watch Tom Holland because they think he's cute, the people that go in there to watch Zendaya because Zendaya is the hot new thing, the people that are going in there to watch Alfred Molina because they're Sam Raimi fans and don't care about this other these other Spider-Mans and stuff like that. There's different portions of it. So when I say that Zendaya can't be killed off, she's too big of an actress unless she's getting paid way too much and Kevin Feige says we can't afford her for the next one, so we're going to kill her off. Fine.
Or unless she just wouldn't do it after this.
That's another thing. We have to think about that. But the likelihood of that happening is super low. The odds, if I'm going to bet against it, I wouldn't put money on Zendaya being killed off.
What I like about in this movie is that they're utilizing Ned and MJ more in this movie. It looks like they're they're going to be part of the story. They're not just his friends and they're just here. They know about him, and no, they're oh no, we're gonna help you, Peter. To do this.
So I don't think that Tom is going to experience loss similar to what Toby and Andrew went through. The loss of Ben and the loss of Gwen. I think his loss is going to be bigger than that, and because that's the thing is that you can't jump from this movie to the multiverse of. What is it? The Multiverse of Madness? Yeah, that one. Without having that transition kind of seems off for him to go oh, I'm super depressed and sad and all this other stuff. I have a feeling that his loss is going to be kind of you have to give up your life. This is it. Because of your actions now you have to, give up MJ and Aunt May.
Oh, then they break up. Maybe he breaks up with MJ and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the other thing that, most people don't realize is that not only does he have to grow with the fact that he has done wrong things to lose people.
Yeah.
Parker and Spider-Man are two different identities that he has to balance throughout his life. One of the greatest storylines, the Spider-Man video game that came out.
Yeah. Did you finish that?
I couldn't. The PlayStation 4 broke.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it broke.
PS4?
Yeah, it literally like fried itself.
Oh,
I tried turning it on, and it like literally won't work.
What part did you get to?
I got up to. I was completing all the Harry Osborn missions, so I think I got right before,
like in the main arc.
a little bit after you break into what's his name?
Ravencroft or
No, the in Aunt May's shelter when you break into Mr. Negative
oh,
office.
okay.
Yeah, a little bit after that.
Oh, okay. Dang.
So I'm like a little bit halfway.
Oh, you're
through,
still in the early stages.
halfway
of
through
that.
the game. I'm like, it showed like 49% done.
Okay,
50,
but
yeah.
you were doing the Harry Osborn stuff though.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
thing. So that
So-
could have been like maybe
so-
like 5% of that.
Yeah, but one of the biggest, aspects of that game is balancing the life of Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that that's what we're going to be seeing here. Not so much the loss of a human life and his consequences, or the consequences of his actions here. I think the consequences of his actions are going to lead him to choose. Are you going to be Peter Parker, or are you going to be Spider-Man? And you're going to have to choose.
Has he done that? Has he made that decision
Yes,
before?
and
in the
they still
comic
work
books?
on that. In this
Yeah.
new run of the Amazing Spider-Man, in the early issues, there's a dilemma where he splits himself up using the emitter that turned him into Spider-Man, or turned the spider into the thing that bit him. He splits himself up. He splits himself up into Peter Parker, and he splits himself into Spider-Man. And so there's always that dilemma inside of him. Can I be one or the other, and can I balance both?
Yeah.
That's what he was doing in the other movie, though, when he went on the field trip.
Far From Home, but it
Yeah.
wasn't as complicated as it was in like other storylines. Because in the other storylines, like, 'cause that's the thing, is that he was balancing it, but he didn't tell anyone. Now that MJ knows, Ned knows, and Aunt May knows,
Yeah.
like, okay, how do you balance this? Because Aunt May worries about him in terms of safety.
Yeah.
Ned is just like, cool, my best friend is a superhero, and MJ, we don't know how she's going to react to this.
Yeah.
And we're still in that
We'll
honeymoon
see.
Yeah.
phase.
Yeah, we'll see in this movie. That's the thing. We'll see her reaction and how she is, especially with now everyone knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's gonna have to choose definitively. Are you going to be Peter Parker, or are you going to be Spider-Man?
That's a hard choice, because I don't know if I really want to be a superhero, but it'd be like cool to like help people. But I don't think I could really do it.
Yeah. That, and he talks about
Yeah.
that. He talks about that in several arcs. It's like, yeah, it's super cool to be Spider-Man, but the physical toll, the mental toll, he can't pay his bills, like all this stress that accumulates because of that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna transition into the predictions, and there's one big one talking about that, and one small one I want to give, and then I want to hear what you guys have to say. I have a feeling that this movie, like I said, is going to have him choose between choosing to be a superhero or choosing to be a normal person. That will eventually lead into 3 more movies where he is going to transition out and give the mantle to Miles Morales, because he chooses to be Spider-Man. And we see that happen in the Multiverse of Madness. And he's trying to kind of fix his actions and try to get things together. Then we get a couple years into the future. He's done. He's old. He's just like, I can't do this anymore. I have to have I have to have someone. Like Tony passed the torch on to me. I have to pass on the torch to someone else.
Yeah.
In comes in Miles Morales. And so when the executives of Sony said Tom Holland's going to stay for 3 more movies, I was always on board to say it's not going to have him be the main star. Like, he's going to be the poster child of these movies, but I don't think it's going to be him front and center. I think that we're going to get a Miles Morales, and he's going to be training him so that he's given 3 more movies where he can pass the torch. Either you go the ultimate route and kill off Peter Parker and Tom Holland dies, and then Miles Morales becomes the new Spider-Man, or we have what ended up happening with Original Sin and Secret War, where Spider-Man and Miles Morales live in the same universe, and Spider-Man kind of just does his own thing while Miles Morales is like, I'm going to take on, the responsibilities and be this new superhero that New York needs.
Yeah.
The smaller prediction that I have, I did like the one where people were saying that Ned is going to be the Hobgoblin. That's an interesting
What?
one. Yeah.
Because in the comic books, his character is the Hobgoblin.
And here's the thing. It doesn't make sense to have Green Goblin be a main character. I'm sorry, Willem Dafoe, as great of an actor and as great as the Green Goblin was in this, in the Sam Raimi movies, you can't have him be centered again in a new universe.
I don't think he would want to be the main villain for Spider-Man again. I feel like he would he saw an opportunity to come back for one last time as a character, for this character.
Exactly. And when you think of, iconic Spider-Man villains,
Yeah.
you think of Doc Ock. You think of Mysterio. You're really hardcore Kraven the Hunter, you know. But the one that sticks amongst most is the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
And who's second to Green Goblin?
Hobgoblin.
So you have to have a Hobgoblin. And you and I were theorizing how interesting it would have been if James Franco wasn't a total dickbag, you know. How great it would have been if he would have been into this universe and been the next been the Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that we might get a Hobgoblin, you know, influence somewhere. And if it's not Ned, it'll probably be someone else.
Yeah, there's always been plenty of Hobgoblins, different characters, but Ned's character was the first one.
What would have driven him to become
The Hobgoblin?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Brainwashing, or we said even a variant. It could be a variant.
Because the Hobgoblin has been kind of weird. He either takes the Goblin Serum and is the prodigy of the Green Goblin, or he's more of like a black market dealer who just steals under the Goblin name and works an underground network and tries to be like the next protege without actually taking the Goblin Serum.
Oh.
So it's either or. It could be either one.
I could see Ned
Yeah.
as a goblin.
Renee, do you want to give your prediction next or you want to be last?
I can be last. Go ahead. You ladies can go.
Oh, well, no, because my predictions, I'm going in there. I don't want to go in there with any expectations because.
But that's half the fun.
That's Hobgoblin, just to let you know.
Oh.
That's him. So they think
Interesting.
he could be that, which, if you look at it, doesn't seem very likely.
But if it's not him, it'll be someone else.
Yeah. What
someone
about
close.
wasn't Harry Osborn the one from The Amazing Spider-Man?
Oh,
What
Harry
about him?
Osborn? Yeah.
Yeah. What about him? How come James Franco and not him?
Because no one liked that goblin.
Oh, they didn't? Okay, then never mind.
Because Harry Osborn becomes Green Goblin, right? In The Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, like, we skipped, like, stuff.
And I didn't like, that was the one thing I didn't like about it, was that they totally killed off Norman.
Yeah.
And just like, oh, Harry's
Because
gonna be
Norman
the
Osborn is the...
I didn't like that either. I think I just...
But, again, in the comic books, in the original comic books, Harry was the first Green Goblin, but then Norman Osborn took over as the Green Goblin and stuff like that. So that's how it happened. It was like, the whole time it was like, we thought it was Norman, and then, whoa, big reveal, it was Harry the whole time. But then you notice that Norman was the one kind of like being sneaky and stuff, and then took on the persona of Green Goblin.
He was the influence.
Yeah.
He was kind of like... The Goblin storyline is weird. There's a lot of manipulating and brainwashing and gaslighting, and it's
yeah, Norman Osborn is
crazy.
A very terrible person.
Yeah. No, he's not.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Have they confirmed all of the characters that are going to be? Okay, because then that kind of goes into my next prediction. I don't know. I feel like there's still a lot of missing pieces, and that's why I don't want to go in with a prediction.
I see.
What I want to say, I guess, is that kind of seeing how like there has been all these predictions throughout all these Marvel either TV shows or TV shows or movies, is that in the end you're gonna end up getting something that you're not expecting, but you're not gonna be upset about it.
No.
So that's what I'm gonna go in with, is that I'm very excited for it. I want to see what happens. Obviously we kind of already have like a very basic understanding of what's going on, but I just kind of want to go in it like that. I feel like we're not going to expect what's going to happen. We don't know who exactly is going to be in there, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm not going to go in with expectations. I'm excited. I don't think we're going to be disappointed.
So there's a lot of... So, because you're saying, like, have we confirmed all the characters that are going to be in there?
Yeah, because who knows? What if Scarlet Witch comes in and along with what's going on? What if... I'm just going to... big going out there, like, predictions. What if this whole thing is just kind of to show Peter, like, hey, this is what could happen, and it actually doesn't really happen?
Ooh.
Twilight Part 2?
Yeah.
We don't know.
No, that's the worst thing that could have done.
I don't know.
So
I'm just saying, there, it could be anything. I don't know.
To answer, like,
Why
they
would
confirmed all the characters?
Why would Doctor Strange just kind of be like, he's a very strict kind of person to not mess with magic.
No.
And
That's
then
what
all of
I
a sudden, like, Yeah, okay. This I forget the guy's name. He's gone. Let's go ahead and do it.
Wong.
The thing is,
Wong.
the thing is though, is that people forget in Doctor Strange, the first movie, when he was told not to tamper with the time stone at all, he used it to.
But didn't he
to
learn?
No, he basically.
He was strict on other people, but when it came to him doing what he wanted to do, he would do it.
He's willing to kind of do stuff that he knows the outcome of. Like if he believes that doing this way that nobody will agree to, but he knows that it work out in everyone's favor, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh, or maybe he thought he could control it, and then all of a sudden, this whole thing with like multiverse happens.
That's the thing.
Gets out of control.
And
then all these different people come from different universes.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on, and then it kind of starts off this whole like new big arc.
That's the thing.
So to answer your question about like has every character been confirmed for the movie? No. And I'll give you an example as to why. Kevin Feige said, hey, Charlie Cox is going to be Daredevil. He's sticking with it.
Oh, yeah. That's
Hey,
another thing. That's
by
what's
the
funny.
way, what about, is Venom going to be in there?
No.
Is Eddie Brock going to? Then why
Well,
did they
that's
show
the-
us that
okay,
Why
scene?
did they?
Again,
Exactly.
Again, can we retract? Let's go back to the statement.
No.
No. Let's go back to the statement. How many times have we said Daredevil is going to be in this movie?
How many times?
How many times?
A lot.
You and I have said it.
Yes.
We've said, we're going to get Daredevil
in it.
No Way Home. We know he's in it. And Feige and all the marketing people have said, no,
Yeah.
because we haven't confirmed him yet.
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere, Kevin Feige knocks on your door and says, hey, you know that actor Charlie Cox? He's going to be Daredevil.
He's there.
Yeah, he's Daredevil. He's coming back as
Daredevil. So where? He's just coming back.
It's just
Yeah,
Just
so-
we're just
accept
moving
it.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like these little
Well-
bits of confirmation. Because keep in mind, we know Lizard, we know Electro, we know Sandman. We don't know why Sandman's there, but we know he's there. We know Green Goblin, and we know Doc Ock.
What about the Vulture? Is the Vulture not going to be there?
Ooh,
That's the one we
See what I
haven't.
mean?
But he's been confirmed to be in Morbius.
exactly.
That's
So,
the thing.
or what if we get Kraven the Hunter? What if we get a smaller the Hobgoblin? What if we get?
And then for sure, Miles Morales is not going to show up.
In the timeline right now, I don't know.
But
That's a
pops
lot.
up from a
Homecoming-
different universe. We
That's
don't,
a
or I
No,
mean, a different time.
he is in this universe. It's just
Is
that
he
when they talked about in Homecoming with Donald Glover's character, because he is the Prowler, which is the Miles Morales' uncle. And when Tom Holland Spider-Man went to interrogate him about where the Vulture is, he says, I have a nephew here that goes to school in this city, so I don't want those weapons around. And so that's a little hint at Miles, but we do not know how old he is, how young he is.
He could be like 2 at this point.
He could have been like 10 years old at the time. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also like again, we know our
Well,
hearts know.
That's the thing is that this whole marketing,
Okay.
they've been trying to adjust.
Sure.
The whole marketing, they've been trying to adjust everything.
Yeah.
Because when, Alfred Mahoy or Alfred Molina, is it Molina or is it?
I thought it was Molina, Alfred Molina.
Oh, no, I don't remember. I just know his name's Alfred. And remember, during an interview for his role in Promising Young Woman, he blurted out that he was in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige got super mad at that because he even openly said he wanted that moment to be like the portal scene from Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, now that was out, they had to change up the marketing.
But the market, they played out the marketing.
That's
pretty
the thing,
well.
yeah.
So they're kind of going like, "Well, was he in it?" and stuff like that. So again, we don't know. Our hearts know Toby and Andrew are here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what? Stop. But we
throwing them
like-
off.
But
Sure.
like, where are we? Like, okay, like where exactly? Because to me,
There. on
how
that.
cool would it be if we got a rugged old Tobey Maguire Spider-Man?
Oh, I
That's
want
what
that.
I
yeah.
want to. I want to see. I want to. When if he's there,
I think, yeah.
I want to see
If.
how he looks. If he's there, I want to see how he looks. I want to see how he's changed. I want to see how he's grown.
I
Seen
think
the dark
I
side.
think they will take it after Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man 3. They're taking him from the events after.
Yeah.
Like long after that, I think. So that's what I feel that they're going to take Toby from. They did. It seems like though they're taking aspects of the villains though of like either right before they died, obviously, and stuff.
Well, I mean, they're taking Doc Ock as soon as he falls into the river. It's
think-
probably a portal opened up
and
underneath
then
him.
Green Goblin, obviously, as well too, right
Yeah.
before he
I
died.
have another question.
I don't think. Oh, you know what's funny is that I think that they take him after he died, and the Goblin serum brings him back.
Yeah.
That's why he is like more insane. What's your question?
My question. My question is, and I don't know the technicalities of how this whole multiverse or like how they're coming in, right? Can they? And I asked you this earlier. Can they come at from any point in time?
Yes.
They can.
Yes.
That is weird.
That's the thing.
That
The multiverse writing is a lazy man's.
Yeah,
it's lazy man's writing.
You do have to.
The only reason why I asked is because to me, like Green Goblin's already dead, and Tobey Maguire's Peter isn't I didn't finish the second one today.
He dies.
He dies. Yeah. Okay, he dies. Kind of like how Doctor Strange says, all of these people died at the hands of him,
Spider-Man.
of Spider-Man.
After fighting Spider-Man.
Yeah. So I wonder if there's like some kind of agenda
They could
to
have
that,
been brought
or
back
could
to
it
life.
just been a throwaway line like, oh, it's just like this.
The
It's
Goblin
just
Serum
fact.
works in weird ways, and you're forgetting that Doc Ock is a scientist who can actually work like miracles. And it could be that his arms probably had something to do with like his nervous system or something. And basically it was like, oh yeah, I didn't like kill me. I was able to like crawl out and still live. Different things. Mandy, do you have a prediction?
Yeah, your prediction.
Gwen Stacy's coming back.
Really?
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. I want to see her in this movie.
How would that be if Kristen Dunst and Emma Stone come back in this movie?
So it'd be interesting because Kristen Dunst has already said that she would like to come back. But
again,
she's been like
Garfield
a
has been like denying though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not in it. That's deep fakes. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing is that they haven't interviewed them. They haven't interviewed Kristen Dunst or they haven't interviewed Emma Stone to like they haven't interviewed them into depth like they have Andrew Garfield. Toby, they haven't even interviewed a lot
because he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's no
anything.
reason to bring him into something.
Same thing with Benedict Cumberbatch. No one's interviewing him.
No, but because they're not doing anything. And Andrew Garfield was one of those because he did Tick Tick. What is it?
Tick,
Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like they're asking these questions like no.
I was talking to a customer about that, and I feel bad whenever actors are announced in like superhero movies or they get cast in superhero movies, but it's like around the time when they have a movie coming out and they have to promote, like when Ben Affleck got cast as Batman and he was doing a movie called like something the other night or something like that that he directed. Every interviewer was just like Batman.
Oh,
and the same thing with Andrew Garfield when he was doing Tick Tick Boom. Spider-Man. He was just like...
Because all of that was coming out.
I mean, because that's a big thing.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
Which he keeps denying. He's like...
Yeah.
He just said I was telling Brian, they were doing this, I think it's like the Googled... is it both?
It was a Wired? The most
Maybe it was
Googled question, like Google things, or
no, maybe it wasn't that. It was where they go to different social media things. So they go to like Instagram, they go to like YouTube,
yeah, Twitter.
So he went on the YouTube one where he goes and comments under the video where like Jimmy Fallon is interviewing Andrew Garfield, and I think Jimmy Fallon asks him about like the Spider-Man stuff. Yeah. And all Andrew Garfield says is like, just when you watch it, just don't be disappointed. Like, kind of don't let your expectations, just don't be disappointed
That's
if it
a smart
doesn't
way
happen.
to put it, though. That's a smart way to put it because you're not building expectations with anything. It's like, oh, just shut up.
Yeah, he's not confirming nor denying.
He's like, just don't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Watch the movie, but yeah.
Yeah, and that was
it.
the only comment. And I feel like he's playing a lot smoother than Tom Holland. He gets
Tom
so
Holland
nervous.
just gets so
my
scared.
God.
He's gonna blurt out something.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's
But
scary.
I just want to go in there and watch it. I'm ready to watch it. I've moved around my schedule so many times with work.
Oh yeah.
But I'm ready. Like I want to go like how Andy's going. I don't really want to expect anything
Exactly.
I want to know the story now. I'm impatient. I just want to see it.
No, that's how I am too. Like at this point, I just want to see the movie.
Yeah.
I want to see how it all ends, or then I want to see.
I enjoyed the first
characters
two
meeting.
and,
I just want to have a good time watching this movie.
Yeah.
That's why it's like at the same time, I don't want to put up expectations, but if I was to put up some sort of theory or something that I want from the film, I would have to say I feel like Green Goblin is going to have that moment for either MJ or Aunt May. He's going to make him choose. Because that's such a Green Goblin thing to do.
Yeah.
And I think, I feel it's going to happen. Something like that. Brian.
Bryan.
I'm just ready to.
He's gonna be a wreck. You're gonna be a wreck, and then we have the podcast. And you're just like, I don't know how I feel about this movie. I'm still stunned by it. I don't think I'm ready, guys.
I don't think I'm ready to talk about it. I'm too emotionally torn.
Yeah, you're gonna go through like the stages of grief.
Probably.
I'll sit next to you. I'll bring tissues and I'll write it with you because
oh man,
I always look at Rene the whole time. I'm all, did you see that?
Yeah. I'm gonna ugly. Like, here's the thing. All I ask is for like when I watch that movie, you need to control Nick. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Okay, then Nick. Okay, then do you want me to sit next to you then?
Okay, so here's in all seriousness. Like the more I think about it, because like now that we're talking about it in depth, like this detail,
dude, it's gonna happen next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like my first thought is like, holy crap, this is coming. Like this is here. Like it's here. Right? I get it.
This might be bigger than Endgame for you right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm 28 years old. I get it. I'm an adult with a job, with bills to pay, and I'm crying over a superhero movie. What? No, this guy shaped my life.
Yes.
This character was like my influence as a child. This guy like crafted me. So to finally get a movie where like we have all these different things happening that I witnessed as a kid and seeing him now, I have no doubt that this movie is going to do something to me. Be it like an okay movie or a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
But the moment things happen, I'm probably gonna ugly cry.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you,
we'll support you all the way.
We'll be right there,
Endgame,
right next to you.
So I wasn't ready to ugly cry during Infinity War, but when
Peter Parker
is like
gets snapped,
Mr. Stark.
I would shut up.
That hurt. It really hurt though.
I don't want to go.
I felt it.
Destroyed.
You're so mean.
I was just. You laugh, but you laugh.
Like, she's on the verge of tears.
She laughs, but like after watching that movie, she's like, "Babe, I'm gonna be honest. I was so worried for you because I didn't know how you were gonna handle that thing." And I'm
Did you know ahead of
I did not handle it well.
No. Like as I was watching it happen, I'm like, and I felt Bryan like reacting to it, and you just hear, and then you just see his tear from the side,
but
and
that
I'm
was
like,
me
oh
with
my
Groot.
god.
I started crying when Groot, and then
Groot,
when they said that, when he said, "I am Groot" to Rocket, he was like saying, "You know,
That
I love
don't
you,
matter."
Dad. No, my moment. That was my moment. I started crying, and Renee's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, it's baby Groot."
Well, to be fair, I watched it twice before we saw it with
you did, yeah.
So I was like,
You're already over it.
He's like, babe, you're gonna tear apart. I'm like, what do you mean? And then
Yep.
Oh,
At the time, Baby
you
Groot.
mentally prepared Mandy for
At the
this
time,
moment.
Before Baby Yoda, it was Baby Groot for her.
it was baby Groot.
Yeah,
Me
like,
too.
See how we move from babies?
Get out of here, Groot. You're all grown up now.
All right, so that's
it.
There?
Yeah, so we did all the predictions.
If I don't show up on the podcast, issue 77 is probably the issue I don't show up in. No, 78.
78? Is it 78? Yeah.
Yeah, issue 78 is the issue I miss.
That's
probably.
the
If
issue.
it's too much for me, I'll be like, guys, I need a day.
We'll fill in for you. It's okay.
It's gonna be a crazy issue. We're just gonna talk.
It
I think
I'm
we're
ready.
Gonna be
to,
all Spider-Man.
I'm ready.
Yeah, there's no in between for that.
Oh, I forgot. Okay,
What?
I have an outfit plan. I have all Spider-Man outfit.
Yeah.
Spider-Man dress, Spider-Man leggings. I have a Spider-Man mask. I'm ready for Spider-Man.
I'm just wearing my Spider-Man mask and the Spider-Man hat you got me.
What if,
Ooh, yeah.
That's it.
what
I'm not
if
gonna.
Spider-Gwen comes in?
Ooh.
Look at Brian's face.
You know what? I was on board with the whole Spider-Gwen hype, but she's too overused now. It's
But
kinda
I don't feel like their characters will it's probably just gonna be suits. Let's be real. You're probably gonna see a lot of suits or like different Spider-Man coming in.
It's like that Power Rangers
Spider-Gwen.
episode where all the Red Rangers come out. No,
just see Emma Stone
before we wrap it up,
yeah.
if you want to know my opinion on Spider-Gwen, Spider-Gwen was cool when she first debuted.
Yes.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool. And then the storylines where she finally meets Peter Parker in the comic books, like because when the worlds collide and he gets to meet her or meet each other, he's like, yeah, in my world, you know, my Peter dies and I was so sad and devastated. They have a moment where like, well, you know, because I met you, like there's a closure and they have like a hugging moment. It's super great. It's super awesome. I'm over it. I think
done.
I'm done. She's a cool character. She's awesome.
It would be a pretty cool opportunity. I'm just saying.
But you don't want to overuse her that way because she is a sentimental character. She is a very pivotal point for Parker and for Spider-Man. To introduce her, you need to make it be like the Spider-Verse. Like there is a reason for her appearance. And if she's going to meet Peter Parker, Spider-Man, there needs to be that interaction where it's like, in my world, like it would be great if Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was there and we have a Spider-Gwen show up, like if it's Emma Stone.
Yeah.
You know, and they have that moment because that is the influence. That is what makes it happen. It's like, in my world, I killed you by accident. Well, in my world, you died because you took the lizard serum. And that's what connects them. And then they split apart. That would be dope.
I want to see Andrew and Tom react to Tobey Maguire's webbing.
Oh,
He's like, they're like, ugh. They're like, you don't have web shooters? No, it comes out of my hand. Like, what?
all right.
It's all natural.
How does he does like different things when he's trying to like figure it out at first.
All right, we're gonna figure out what we're gonna be doing for next week in terms of like, well, Nick's coming back, and it's all of us, so it'd be really interesting if like all 5 of us are in the show. I know it's a lot.
It's a lot,
but it would be very interesting.
I might have another idea after.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it after. Yeah.
We'll talk about it more because definitely this is a big. It's going to be the issue that is like a single topic. And, you know, to be fair, it is a full Spider-Man with full spoilers, but it is going to be releasing the Wednesday after the movie premieres. So you guys have days to watch it. So there should
go and watch it.
Yeah, so there is, if you are anticipating this movie, and I get it, some people are busy, some people are probably won't be able to watch it, or some people are choosing to skip the first 2 weeks to avoid, you know, a certain crowd and stuff like that.
That's hard to avoid spoilers.
It is hard to avoid. But you know what? Totally understandable. If you've made it this far in the issue, this is your fair warning that issue 78 will be a full-on Spider-Man topic.
It will be spoilers.
All of it.
Spoilers.
All of it.
Yes.
So we will be watching it Thursday, talking about it Friday. It'll be fresh in our minds, and then it's going to be a full-on discussion released on Wednesday afterwards, okay?
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that, guys. If you guys have any comments, questions, or anything, leave them in the comment section down below, or send us a DM on Instagram or email us with questions. Let us know what you guys want to know about the Spider movie and what we think about certain things. We'll try to get, our hands on them and answer them in the next issue. With that said, follow us on our socials, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Go like us, Keeping Up with the Nerds, so you guys are up to date with any new releases and any new issues that come out. As I mentioned before, I'm working on all the videos so far. I've released 2 so far. So there's a couple more. The skits are going to be releasing within the next couple of weeks before the year is over. So you're going to be getting all our skits with all the guests that we've had over the month of November. Those are going to be coming out, as well as Tales from the Nerds. That will be coming out shortly. Hopefully by the time this issue releases, that's going to be coming out.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully, yes.
That's Brian's story.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Follow us on YouTube if you're listening to this on an audio platform at Keeping Up with the Nerds. We're at 83 subs. Follow us on there if you guys want to see the visual portion of this podcast, or if you guys want to see on the skits that we work on or extra videos, because we did have an extra bonus video for issue 75 when Stephen Hoffa was on.
Ooh.
Great little story about some things that he had to deal with.
Oh,
in his
it was
teenage
hilarious,
years.
guys.
Losing a certain card.
Yeah, the consequences afterwards. So we have those. We have our Pokemon pack opening with Lewis.
Yeah.
And then, like I said before, all our skits are going to be coming up with our guests. Those are going to be popping up on YouTube. Follow us on our audio platforms as well.
Yes.
Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, guys. Let us know what you guys think, because we currently have like 3 or 4 reviews, which is all 5 stars.
Cool.
Awesome. But be honest with us and let us know. Anything else I'm missing?
That's about it.
Oh, our website, keepingupwiththenerds.com. Yes, if you guys are want to be up to date with everything, we have a website, keepingupwiththenerds.com. That way you guys are up to date with everything that releases, and we're going to be writing some articles and stuff like that, working on it. It's pretty now, but there's still some things to work on.
Yeah.
All right? I think with that said, Renee, are you ready to wrap the show up?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
This has been Keep It Up with the Nerds, issue 77. I'm your host, Renee.
This is Bryan.
This is Mandy.
And Andy.
Recording at Undercity Comics in Whittier, California. We want to thank you all, everyone, for listening, and see you all next time.